Dear students, today we are going to study about the placentation. First, we have to know about what is placentation. Placentation is the pattern of ovule arrangement in the ovary. And what is placenta? The structure on which ovules are born is known as placenta. Generally, the placenta is a cushion-shaped structure situated along the line of fusion of carpellary margins. The placenta is a distinctive structure in some families like Solanaceae, Cucurbitaceae, and some primitive families such as Winteraceae, etc. There is little or no modification of the region where ovules are born. So each placenta is generally regarded as composed of two half placentae born on contiguous margin of the same or different carpels. The various types of placentations are generally defined. So, what is the basis of classification of placentation? The number of loculi in the ovary or position of the ovules. But these criteria does not provide correct assessment. Because the placentation is a useful character in taxonomy and the classification should be based on more reliable criteria. The Professor Puri suggested following three criteria for classification of placentation. Composition of the vascular supply of the placenta, whether it is from one carpel or two carpel. Orientation of the vascular supply of a placenta means either normal or inversely oriented with floral axis. And third one is the location of the placenta, means whether they are on the fused margins of the same or of different carpels. Let us assess different types of placentation based on these criteria. This is the picture showing marginal placentation. On the basis of both topographical and anatomical criteria, the marginal placentation can be defined. The gynoecium, if gynoecium is monocarpellary, apocarpous and unilocular. If placentae are born on fused margins of the same carpels. This is the placentae derive their vascular supply from the ventrals of the same carpel. This is ventral suture. The ventral bundles are inversely oriented with reference to the floral axis, means and lie almost on the same radii as the dorsals. This type of placentation can be clearly distinguished from the one met in Pseudomonavirus gynoecea in Poaceae family, where placentae are essentially parietal as they occur at the junction of two margins. Next, axile placentation. These are the criteria which we can apply to axile placentation. If the gynoecium is multicarpellary, syncarpous and multilocular, placentae are born on fused margins of the same carpel. In this picture you can see This is the placentae. Fused placentae derive their vascular supply from the ventral of the same carpel. The ventral bundles are inversely oriented with reference to floral axis and lie almost on the same radii as the dorsals. The term axial should be clearly distinguished from axial. Means axial, which means the ovules are borne on the floral axis, which is not applied. Next, for parietal presentation, the main criteria are gynoecium is multicarpellary, syncarpous and unilocular. The placentae are borne on the fused margins of the different carpels. देखिए आप पिछले स्लाइड में हमने देखा fused margins, and in parietal placentation borne on fused margins of different carpels. The placentae derive their vascular supply from the ventrals of the different carpel. The ventral bundles are normally oriented with reference to floral axis and lie almost on different radii from those of the dorsals. The vascular supply of placental region in families like Brassicaceae, Papaver, the placental bundles or the ventral bundles are inversely oriented as in axial placentation, which can be distinguished from simple parietal placentation. Free central placentation. In free central placentation, the gynoecium is same multicarpellary, syncarpous, unilocular. Placentae derive their vascular supply from ventrals of the same carpel. Ventral bundles are inversely oriented and lie almost on the same radii as the dorsals. The fused margins may break away during development of the gynoecium as in Caryophyllaceae. Here you can see the caryophyllaceous fruit. In the Caryophyllaceae, they are separate. The fused margins may break away during development, or they are separate from the very beginning as in Primulaceae. This is caryophyllaceous fruit. Here you can see the multicarpellary, syncarpous, unilocular ovule. Locule is single. Ovules, placenta in between. Basal placentation. The term is used for the unilocular gynoecium with a single ovule. This is single ovule, which arises or appears to arise from the base of the ovary. Conditions in the Poaceae and certain Ranunculaceae, single ovule has descended from lateral position, may better be called as subbasal. This is basal placentation. Unilocular gynoecium with a single ovule, known as basal placentation. Superficial or lamellar placentation. When entire or most of the internal surface of the ovary wall, entire or most of the internal surface of the ovary wall is covered with ovules. The condition is known as superficial or lamellar. Such type of placentation occurs in families like Butomaceae and Nymphaeaceae. Now we will discuss evolutionary trends in placentation. In the evolution of placentation, it appears that no uniform pattern is followed. Marginal placentation, generally accepted as a single and primitive placentation. Free central placentation in all cases seems to have been derived from the exile placentation. The basal placentation, as it exists in families like Cyperaceae, Polygonaceae, has also derived from exile placentation. The condition in the Poaceae, Asteraceae and some Ranunculaceae, generally it is described as basal, is derived from parietal placentation. Thus, free central and basal placentation are considered as derived types. Free central and basal. It is difficult to decide whether exile or parietal placentation is more primitive, as in a number of families like Cucurbitaceae, Passifloraceae, Brassicaceae, Capiraceae, Papaveraceae, the parietal placentation is derived from the exile placentation. Means the evolution has progressed from ovary cells as many as carpels to less than the carpels. There are also many exponents of the view that parietal placentation is more primitive than exile placentation. However, Professor Puri stated that it is far from conclusive that parietal placentation is more primitive than exile. So, the evolutionary history of the laminar placentation is not quite clear. It is present in the families generally considered as primitive, both in dicots and monocots. The Nymphaeaceae, Butomaceae, Hydrocaritaceae. In this type, the ovules are distributed all along the inner walls of the carpel except the dorsal suture. The families like Winteraceae show evidence of transition from laminar to submarginal placentation. So, according to the Professor Puri, the marginal placentation is considered as primitive and it gives rise to exile placentation, and parietal placentation is derived from the exile placentation, and there is also possibility of evolution from parietal to exile and from exile to marginal placentation. Basal placentation may be derived from exile as well as from free central placentation, and the free central placentation is also derived from exile placentation. There is also possibility of derivation of free central placentation from basal placentation and basal placentation from marginal as well as parietal placentation. So, there are many possibilities of the development of the placentation.